got somebody claiming freaking copyrights on me again. Whew. Alright, another week in the books there, folks. Motherfucking Friday. I like these days like this. Yeah. I'm going to wind this down a little bit. Turn the AC off. Turn the fan on. There we go. We're just going with the... Hello, kiddo. What's up? Boy, you are like on it today, aren't you? Like with bells on and stuff. How was my day? I guess my day was all right. Could have been better. I could have had the day off, but it was all right. How about yours? Was yours okay? So, it's a short week this week because I was off Monday. Your day is still going. Where's it going to? Anyway, it's a short week this week. It seemed like I worked a regular week though. I don't know. It's like I stayed steady, doing stuff, but and yeah, it's fine. Good. Very good. So I'm gonna go home and relax today. Of course, I go home and relax every day, but I'm gonna really relax today. When you work 5 days a week, your week already seems pretty long. Excuse me, working class. But I only had worked 4 days this week, but I think having 3 days off on the weekend made me lazy or something. I'm not really sure. I feel like I'm more exhausted this week than I normally would be for some reason. Could you pick up the phone and call your daughter every once in a while? I'm trying to call, but it rings and then goes to voicemail. Well, I don't know why it's going to voicemail. It should. I keep my ringer on. Sure you got the right number? You don't leave a voice message. You hear what I'm saying? If you spend the time to call and it goes to voicemail, you could leave a message. You know what I mean? Wait a minute, I can't read. I'm in a curve. Let's see here. It does not. And yeah, have the right number, okay? Alright. Well, maybe you ought to try more often or something. Or call me when I'm like at home. You can't call me during the day. I'm at work. I don't know what the difference is between talking to you like this and talking to you on the phone is, but okay. You want to call me in the evening sometime. I'm usually available because I don't do anything in the evenings. I work all day and I don't do anything in the evenings. Now on the weekend, you might have a little bit of a problem trying to get me because what's up, cousin Jason? Hey, I'm headed down your way tomorrow. I'll be in Branson tomorrow. I know, but Springfield's like, an hour away from Branson or something like that? Anyway, I'll be coming through your area. We decided not to go to that Dogwood Canyon place until Sunday afternoon. But we'll be in Branson Saturday. I'm not sure what we're going to do in Branson. You know, that's the place is a freaking tourist trap. We might go to the top of the Rock Lakes, whatever it is. We might go to the lake out there and recreate a picture we did a few years back when it was cold. It was freaking freezing cold that day. 45 minutes, okay. Ashley deleted her message. I don't know what she said. Anyway. So yeah, it's, you know, when you work a short week after having a long weekend, it really makes for a long week, believe it or not. It's almost like working 5 days, really, even though you're not. I guess I just got too relaxed over the few days that, you know, I was off or something. But yeah, so all right. What are you up to this week? I saw you went to the baseball game, Jason. I didn't know Springfield had a team. I thought they had a hockey team. I think it's like minor league. Don't they have a minor league hockey team in Springfield? Or is that Springfield, Illinois? Or Springfield, Texas, or I don't know. I know there's the Blues hockey team is a Springfield team, but I don't know which Springfield they're from. You know what I mean? I can't wait for hockey to start. You know, for the last, I don't know, week or so at work, they have this, like we have a bulletin board at work. And it's on what they call an intraweb. It's basically just like a company website that everybody uses, you know, so we can find out about work coming up and, you know, procedures and policies, and or we have something called Workday on there where, you know, we schedule days off, and then we have like a university where we take classes and shit like that are free. You know, you take a class, you take a test on it, and you pass it, and then you get a little certificate that says, hey, you know, I'm a company man, I took your little test, and I'd be okay. You texted me, so yes, Dad, I have the right number. Okay, well, that's cool. Anyway, so they've been, you know, all this hype about football. I could give two shits less about football. Well, at least NFL anyway. You know, I haven't watched an NFL football game since, what, 2016 or 17 when Colin Kaepernick did that dumb shit, kneeling for the flag or whatever it was. Yeah, and the NFL let him do it. You know, I had enough of that shit. Fucking woke ass pieces of shit. Those guys make way too much money anyway. You know, I don't know. That's just me. I think they make too much damn money. Be right back. The internet's fucking up. I have to try to reset. All right, go ahead. Take care of what you need to take care of there, cousin. Do your thing. Anyway, but I like the UFL. They took the XFL and the USFL and they merged them together. So that's the UFL, the Unified Football League. It's a spring league. I like it in the spring better anyway. Who wants to sit in the fucking cold and watch a football game? You know what I mean? That's stupid. Of course, now I used to be into that shit. I was a Green Bay Packers fan years ago. I've still got, you know, Green Bay Packers trash on my fucking shelves at home because I'm trying to sell it. So if anybody out there wants some Green Bay Packers shit, let me know. And they can buy it from me. And I got some neat shit. I got a helmet that was autographed by Ahman Green. It's a full-size helmet, game worn. I guess it's game worn. It's beat up like it's game worn. Came with a letter, certificate of authenticity and all that good shit. But it's Ahman Green. Ahman Green was #1 yardage rusher in Green Bay Packers history or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. Man, I am tired today. I think I'm going to go home and take a nap. It's raining, so I'm not going to be able to do anything outside. I don't have to worry about my porch this weekend because, of course, my deck, I got it fixed last week. And I got nobody on. I guess I hit a dead spot or something again. Yeah, I just love this road. Why am I getting rid of the stuff that I have? Okay. Well, I saw 0 people up there. Okay, I see you both there. I only got one person listed as being online, but I got 2 people watching. That's really weird. But anyway, so I'm getting rid of the stuff, Ashley, because it's taking up room in my house. I don't. Plus, if I could sell it, make a little money off of it, why not? You know what I mean? I'm tired of looking at it. I'm tired of, reminiscing about the days when I actually liked the NFL. I don't care for it anymore. I could give 2 shit less about the Super Bowl or the 16 or 18 or 50 games or however many they play now. I don't care, I got better things to do with my time to watch a bunch of overpaid fucking dumbasses that want to kneel for a flag and shit. You know what I mean? They get attitudes and think they're shitting on stink, and it really sucks. It does. I just don't care. So I'm getting some rain today. We haven't had any rain in quite a while. Well, it's not really raining, it's drizzling right now. I know there was some rain in Charlotte, I guess it was yesterday. Ashley, did you guys get rain yesterday? I don't remember. Your sister posted a post on I guess Snapchat today, or maybe it was yesterday. It was raining. Anyway, yeah. So we're getting some rain today. It's nice. Cool things down. I think it only got up to like 75 today, if even that. No, it was cooler than it has been. I don't know. It seemed like Monday to Thursday. Well, I don't know. It was kind of cool yesterday. I think in the afternoon we finally did get up to about 84 or something like that. But today was really still kind of cool. I wore a long sleeve shirt today for the first time. Well, I don't have it on now. It's a button down. I took it off when I got off work. But I wore a long sleeve shirt today. It was comfortable. I went in with it this morning and I took it off because it was still warm. The building was still warm from yesterday. Our building collects heat, keeps it in pretty well. And I did wear my long sleeve shirt into work this morning, and then it started to cool off a little bit, because I don't know, anybody see the sun this morning? The sun was like really hazy. I actually posted some photos of it on my Facebook page if you guys want to look it up. But it I don't know, it never did get like really warm. I mean, it got warm, but not like hot or whatever. You'll have to excuse me for babbling on because I don't have a lot to say today. I can't really quit watching football when you moved to Missouri because you couldn't watch the Vikings play. I don't know if you'd want to watch the Vikings now, Jason. They got some flaming faggot freaking cheerleader now. I think he's more feminine than most of the women, which is kind of sickening. And it's like they put a lot of focus on this trash. That's what I'll say he is. He's trash. You know, they focused on him a lot, apparently during their preseason game or whatever. I heard something about somebody throwing a green dildo on the field after the game. I thought that was kind of funny. You know, maybe if enough people, you know, show them that they don't approve of it, maybe they'll kick his ass off the team. He doesn't need to be a cheerleader anyway. You know, put his ass, I don't know, where the fuck to put him. Put him in a clown show, I guess. You know, that's basically what he's doing. He's a fucking clown. You know, I don't know why they want us to cater to their needs. You know, and what they're doing, they're a bunch of mentally ill men, and you know, they want us to accept them, but they can't accept who they are. You know. Wants to act like a girl, talk like a girl, prance around like a girl. He's got a fucking mental issue. That's his problem. Mentally ill bastards. Anyway, I've spent enough time talking about that. I'm gonna get myself, you know, somebody at my job will probably see this video and they go, oh, look at what he's talking about. Whatever. Tired of it. So now you got these women out there want to make a point. See, here's the thing. Is everything still COVID-19? I mean, look, realistically, you know what I mean? It's like, I keep seeing all these posts on Facebook and Instagram and what's the other one? Threads and Snapchat, you know, that people have, I got the COVID. Well, duh. Don't you fuckers know that COVID is done? I mean, you know, Lord Biden himself said that COVID was done. What the fuck's wrong with you people? You know, do you not believe in, you know, viruses, you know, anymore? You know, like flu. Whatever happened to the flu? Like, you know, it completely disappeared. Now you don't have a stomach virus. You got COVID virus. What? Somebody take that shit and trash it. Get it out of here. You know, no, there's never been a virus in the history of man that I can think of, and I'm 56 years old. I can't ever think of a time when a virus lasted this fucking long. You know, and it's not the healthy people or the people that take care of themselves getting this shit. It's these fucking dumbasses that went out and rolled up their sleeve and said, oh, I want my free donut. Give me a shot. You know? Man, what the fuck? Are you people stupid? Jeez. This whole fucking, you know, it's all about big pharma making money. You know what I mean? They want you to stay sick, and the only way they can keep you sick is to keep pumping all this shit in your body that's not supposed to be there. This isn't about your health. This is about their fucking wallets and pockets, making the executives rich and powerful, you know? But people are just too stupid or too blind to see it, you know? Jesus Christ. But anyway, so now you got these women that are going out, you know, they're getting like, there's a rush to get these fucking COVID-19 shots because Robert F. Kennedy said that he was going to put some restrictions on it, and between what he said and what they heard ended up being two different things. You know what I mean? So they heard him say that he was going to put restrictions on it, and in their mind, they're going, oh no, he's getting rid of the COVID shot. When in actuality, he doesn't want people taking the fucking shot unless, first of all, they're willing to. This cat right here is not willing to put chemicals in my body that I don't know what the fuck they are. You know what I mean? It ain't happening. But they just, you know, they do their thing and they go get these shots, and they're doing it. You know, God gave uh, ever created. And now they're going out and they're putting all these fucking chemicals and junk in their bodies. And people are dying of heart attacks and strokes and all kinds of shit. And they don't know why. You know what I mean? It makes absolutely no sense. These fucking dumbasses, they're, in spite of what is being said, they're going to go out and get all these extra fucking chemicals put in their bodies. And now their bodies are going to reject it, and their bodies are going to go, oh, wait a minute, culture shock. And then they're going to wind up in the fucking hospital, or they're going to have a heart attack, or they're going to have a stroke, or they're going to start having fucking heart palpitations, or whatever the case may be. And they're bringing this shit on themselves. You know what I mean? I can't wait until the statistics come out and the truth comes out about those fucking vaccines. And people are going to see, you know, that those things are nothing but poison. You know, I see stories every single day on, we got like an intraweb, like I said before. And, you know, they've got these news flashes that come up on MSN, because I guess that's the browser they use or whatever, the MSN browser. And I see these stories all the time about, you know, these people dying. The people are dying like younger every single day. And these are people that are, you know, relatively healthy, relatively young, and their bodies should be able to fight off whatever it is, you know, virus or sickness or whatever. But they've taken this fucking vaccine and they've destroyed their immune system, their natural immune system. There are ways to boost your immune system naturally without having to take a fucking, you know, a shot from an experimental drug that nobody knows what the long-term effects are. Why? You know, why do people do that stupid shit? I don't understand. I mean, you know, if you think it's going to help, hey, more power to you, but I'm telling you right now, from what I've seen and what I've read, that shit is like more dangerous than fucking drug addiction. You know what I mean? It'll kill you quick. You know, it's almost like taking fucking, you know, a syringe of fentanyl and poking it in your fucking heart, and then you have to wait around, you know, to see what happens. We gotta go. We can't wait to what? Welcome. I don't know what that says. I guess I got a text message from somebody. Anyway. And then they, you know, these people are fucking, and they want me to stay away from them, you know? There was this whole big thing, you know, about this fucking COVID 20. Oh, you know, it's got a 2-week incubation period and you're going to be asymptomatic. You don't stay asymptomatic for that long. And as long as you don't have any symptoms, you can't fucking spread a disease. You know what I mean? Okay, or let's just use herpes, for instance, okay? So when you get the little blisters, you know, down there where you're not supposed to have blisters, you need to be careful and not come in contact with anybody in that manner. Because sure as shit, that's when you're going to get it, right? So then, but when you don't have any symptoms, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? As long as the symptoms are not there, the blisters aren't there, you know, you don't have any liquid or whatever it is that, I don't know, I've never herpes, so I don't know what it's really all like, but, you know, I've seen pictures. It's not pretty. Herpes is not pretty. But as long as you're not broke out and, you know, in that symptomatic state, you can't spread that shit. You know what I mean? You have to be in direct contact with somebody when either A, they're having a fever, or when they're showing symptoms, or, you know, something like that. And you know, the media has told people, oh yeah, you can still get it from people even if they're not showing any bullshit. You know, that's like telling somebody that, you know, they're going to die from alcoholism when they don't drink. Yes, it's the same fucking logic, you know. What a fucking bunch of dumbasses. But you know, you got your people out there that are diehard believers. You know what I mean? More power to them. Anyway, there's my plug for the day. Yes, I like the Black Cherry Kickstarts because they're good. There you go, Mountain Dew. There's your plug for the day. I swear they ought to be paying me for this shit. I bet you there's been a lot of people go get them some of this stuff just because I said it was good. You know, kind of like a lot of people went out and got the virus protection that didn't protect just because the government said so or whatever. All right. I'm tired of ranting about the COVID. You know, it's amazing to me though. People are still talking about that shit. You know, like it's some big threat still. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. You know, when you get a cold and you know you get the sniffles and shit. You know, the old days when I was a kid. You know, it's like, okay, think of it like this. You know, it must be shit that's in the food. It's got to be shit, you know, that we're putting on our bodies, you know, the shampoos and the conditioners and the toothpaste and, you know, all the things that we ingest. Because when I was a kid, I remember going to the doctors and like, you know, for sicknesses. And every time I went to the doctor, it seemed they always put me on Benadryl. And it's like, you know, Benadryl used to take care of everything. And now it doesn't anymore. You know, there's other drugs out. What the fuck is it with these freaking commercials on TV? Jesus Christ. It's like you would think that there's like everybody's sick or something. You know what I mean? Every other fucking commercial on TV has to do with some kind of prophylactic or you know, AIDS virus shit, medicines for asthma, medicines for this, medicines for dry skin and eczema, blah 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 blah. Jesus Christ, you would think that we live in a world that's, you know, infected by like all kinds of illnesses and shit. You know, that there's so many people out there that have these and you know, have a good rest of your day, Daddy. What, are you leaving? You tired of hearing me rant? I like when I rant. I don't make any sense sometimes, but I like to hear myself talk and rant, so I do. No, seriously though, folks. There's a lot more illnesses now than I can remember having when I was a kid. You know? Like in immunizations, for instance, like when I was a kid, I think there were like 4 immunizations you got, you know, when you were born and you were in the nursery. There were only like 4 shots that you got when I was in 1969 when I was born. Now, when children are born and in the nurseries, they give them like 30 or 40 shots. And what the fuck is that all about? You know, your body naturally takes care. Your body has an immune system, and all that shit does is tear up your immune system, and it confuses your body because your body doesn't know what to fight. You know what I mean? It's still trying to figure out what all this shit is you had put in you when you were a kid, and then when you're 6 or 7 years old, you know, there are kids dying from the mumps now. Dude, when I was a kid, you never heard of anybody dying from the mumps. You never heard anybody dying from like bronchitis, you know, but it's like now, every other day, you got somebody, you know, dying from, you know, stupid little diseases that were no threat way back when, you know? Oh well. I got 3 people watching. I get no comments though. I guess people don't want to comment because I might blast them or something. I don't know. Anyway, all right, I'm done. Anybody got any special plans this weekend? How about you, Ashley? Or did you leave already? It says you're still on there. Jason, how about you? You doing anything special this weekend? I gotta find a way to get my audience more involved, because I get to ranting and raving, and like I lose track. You know what I mean? I lose my train of thought when I'm really like into something, because I got so much going on up here. There's so many things to say, but I don't. It's like I forget where I'm at. You know what I mean? I mean, I know where I am right now. I'm sitting at a stoplight in Missouri, but I'm talking about like when I'm talking, I'm like thinking 4 statements ahead of myself or something. I lose track of what I'm talking about. I don't know if that's normal or my brain, because I think when I was a kid I had ADD. It was before they diagnosed it. You know what I mean? For a lot of years they didn't even know what the fuck it was. And I think like when I was a kid, I was in special classes and shit because I had a hard time paying attention. And I think that they kind of knew that there was some kind of new disorder, nervous disorder or anxiety disorder or something, attention deficit disorder. They didn't know what it was. But thank God I never had to take any medication for it. And I do fine. I've been able to hold down jobs and function normally my whole life, even though I procrastinate a lot. I don't have really anxiety, but you look at these kids today that, like they were diagnosed with ADD when they were kids. They put them on, Ritalin and Klonopin and what's that other one? There's another one that kids are, even young adults and people are abusing it. Adderall, yeah, that stuff. Man, that stuff will fuck you up quick. That Adderall. Maybe we can hook up while you're in town. Yeah, maybe so, Jason. We'll have to see. Might be able to. We're not going to go to Cracker Barrel though. I've seen my last meal at the Cracker Barrel. Let's see. The last time I was at Cracker Barrel was, I think it was Wilmington, North Carolina, back in June. June. The end of June, I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we went to the Cracker Barrel. And they still had, and they are going to keep their sign. They're going to keep old man, what's his, Harvey? Is that his name? Or Harold? I know it starts with an H, but they're going to keep the old man on the sign. But they're still, from what I understand, I talked to somebody that works for Cracker Barrel, and they said that they were going to change the inside of the restaurants. So they're going to modernize the inside. Instead of having like, all the old time apparel that is offensive to some people. And like if you're offended by something, no matter what it is, don't you know how to fucking remove yourself from that situation? People are so fucking stupid, that they stay, like when I'm flipping through the fucking TV channels at night, and like there's something on TV that I want to watch, I got a remote in my hand. I flip the fucking button, or I press the button, I go to the next channel. And then if there's something on there I don't like, I go to the next channel. You know what I mean? So if there's a restaurant that you don't like the decor or the apparel or whatever it is, then fucking find somewhere else to eat. It's that simple. You know what I mean? But, we're dealing with a fucking woke society now that thinks that everything needs to change because we need to protect people's poor feelings. You never had, when I was a kid, and I'm telling you right now, when I was a kid, we didn't have the same problems that kids now have. You know what I mean? And it's all media driven. They learn how to be assholes in school. They've fucking done away with the idea that, you know, parents have the authority over the children anymore. You know, so you got these fucking little brat punk ass bitch kids out in, you know, out in fucking public, and they're acting like a bunch of damn fools, and their parents have to take their shit because their parents are not allowed to discipline them anymore. You know, that's what happened, is children were not able to be disciplined anymore. And another thing about all this other bullshit, you know, all these fucking kids out there that, you know, want to be, you know, furries and, you know, have fucking what do they call them, litter boxes and shit in the schools. You know, there are schools in America right now that are putting litter boxes in the fucking bathrooms for the kids to take a piss and shit in, because these kids are mentally disturbed. You know, and the reason they're mentally disturbed is because somebody put an idea in their head that they needed to be different. And, you know, they find any perverse thing they can do, you know. But I'm telling you right now, if there were still bullies in school, you know, like, because when we were kids, we would antagonize the shit out of somebody, and that person knew that we were right, and they would always come around. You know what I mean? But in today's society, no, everything's acceptable. Mental illness is acceptable. You know, I see it all every day. I see it every day, either on TV or when I'm out in public and I see these fucking weirdos. You know, I think to myself, my God, what kind of notion, or what, you know, who the fuck did this person talk to, or what kind of programming on TV did they watch, or, you know, stuff like that. And I know a lot of them probably grew up on, like, you know, a lot of the millennials especially grew up on, what was it, you know, Barney, the big purple retarded fucking rainbow dinosaur, and then they had, you know, SpongeBob SquareHead or whatever the fuck his name was, and then, you know, you had Jerry Springer. Of course, you know, Jerry Springer was almost like a sexual revolution. He always had these weird ass shows about these fucking queers that would dress up like women, and they would fool these men, and they would take them out on dates and all that, and then you know, they would spring this secret on these guys that, you know, hey, you've been screwing around with a man and fucking drag or whatever for months now, and you were too stupid to realize it, so I'm going to get you on TV and embarrass you because of it. You know, and then they want to fight. You know what? Look at those motherfuckers have torn up my yard. Motherfucker. Look at this, y'all.